Beloved one, I speak to you from the bright courts where every promise is yes and established, where the breath of the eternal moves like a river through living light. I am Michael, captain of the hosts who do not grow weary, and I am sent to place a sure word in your spirit. Take it in whole, for this is bread for the journey and fire for your resolve. The season you have felt stirring beneath your feet is no illusion. It is the quiet tremor that always precedes a holy unveiling. You have waited long, not because you were forgotten, but because what is being prepared required a deeper foundation than you imagined. The roots are set, the hidden work is finished, the signal has been given. Stand still for a breath and know, heaven has turned the page. I have watched you in the midnight hours, when questions circled and strength felt thin like paper against rain. Each whisper you lifted carried weight beyond what you could measure, crossing thresholds you could not see, summoning help you did not know by name. You did not quit, and that single decision, again and again, became a key. Now I am here to cut the cords that tied your courage to yesterday, to unhook your hope from outcomes that were never meant to define you, and to dress your thoughts with clarity that does not fluctuate with the weather of circumstance. The one who called you did not miscalculate your capacity. He calculated your calling and then stretched your capacity to match it. That stretch felt like breaking, but it was shaping. Comment amen if you receive his peace in the middle of chaos. Hear me. There will be movement in the days ahead that others call sudden. It will not be sudden to you because you have felt it rumbling inside. The way a seed knows spring before the snow concedes. Doors will present themselves without clangor or spectacle, almost ordinary in appearance, and yet behind each one is a corridor of multiplied favor. Do not stand outside measuring your worthiness. Step through. The test is not whether you can force the door. The test is whether you recognize the invitation. Recognition comes from alignment, and alignment comes from listening more than striving. Practice the quiet that hears the next instruction without asking for the entire map. Maps are for travelers who do not know the region. You are walking with the one who authored the landscape. There will also be pruning. I do not bring this word to wound you, but to free you. Some branches drink the sap of your attention and produce leaves that impress the eye while starving the fruit that feeds the future. Consent to the clean cut. Let go of roles you outgrew, conversations that keep rehearsing harm, and rhythms that make you efficient but distant from joy. The Father is jealous for your wholeness. He would rather build one honest thing through you than a gallery of brittle accomplishments that crumble when the wind tests them. Do not hoard what heaven is removing. Whenever you release at his word, your hands become wide enough to receive at his scale. You will be tempted to interpret resistance as a red light. Learn the difference between resistance that trains and resistance that steals. Training resistance sharpens your focus, deepens your peace, and leaves you steadier after the moment passes. Theft resistance confuses, scatters, and leaves a residue of shame. Where you find shame, stand up. I will stand with you. I will not swing at every shadow on your behalf. For some shadows are only lessons in posture. But where a true snare lies, I will cut it clean. Your assignment is to keep your words aligned with truth. Speak life even when silence seems safer. Speak blessing even when bitterness begs for an audience. Your voice, when it agrees with the king, becomes a trumpet that rearranges the atmosphere. If you feel moved to contribute, know that your generosity will go toward bringing light to even more lives. By clicking the join button or offering a gift of $20, you can be part of something greater. Your kindness will ripple outward, touching hearts and uplifting spirits. Together, we can spread the truth of my promises and the assurance of my love. I am placing a mantle of precise courage upon your shoulders. Not the noisy kind that tries to drown out fear, but the settled courage that comes from knowing where you stand and whose name you bear. From this courage flows a new discipline with your time. You will say no without apology, where once you said yes from obligation. You will say yes without delay, where once you hesitated from doubt. Do not broadcast these choices. Live them. Your calendar is a confession of your beliefs. Let it reveal trust rather than hurry, purpose rather than people-pleasing. The pace of grace is not slow, it is exact. Walk in it, and you will arrive neither depleted nor late. There is instruction coming in layers. Some will arrive in prayer, as a sentence that glows within you long after the amen. Some will arrive in reading, when a single line refuses to let you skim. Some will arrive through the mouth of a stranger, who does not know they are carrying an answer. Collect these pieces faithfully. Write them down. Do not despise the smallness of a step, because it does not match the scale of your vision. Cathedrals are built from measured stones, and measured stones do not boast. If you will steward the single brick, heaven will trust you with the arch. Concerning provision, the flow will change in texture. Where you once met needs by the last hour, you will begin to meet them by the earlier light, and then you will see overflow that searches for assignment. Do not dam the river for fear of drought. Rivers are for movement. Portion what is for seed, what is for bread, what is for refuge to others, and what is for rest. Practice transparent accountability with what passes through your hands. Secrecy breeds corrosion, while clarity invites continued supply. I will nudge you away from arrangements that look profitable, but carry hidden hooks. If the numbers sing but your peace goes silent, step back. Peace is the signature on heaven's contract. As for relationships, expect reconfiguration without drama. I will draw toward you those whose spirits are tuned to the same key. People who do not compete with your purpose, but complete a harmony around it. Some will be elders who speak sentence-long wisdom that saves you years. Some will be peers who share the weight without making you carry their unresolved storms. Some will be students of your testimony who learn not to idolize you, but to imitate your perseverance. Guard the circle at the center. Honor widely, trust wisely. Gossip will try to buy your attention with counterfeit intimacy. Send it away. I will teach you the art of blessing from a distance when closeness would cloud discernment. If this message resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread positivity and brings us closer as a community. There will be public moments. Do not rehearse the performance, prepare the vessel. When you stand where many eyes gather, remember that applause inflates quickly and bursts just as quickly. Do not drink it. Take the compliment and lay it at the feet where all good things return. In rooms with influence, choose the tone of the king. Truthful without edge, strong without posturing, merciful without muddle. When you do not know, say so. When you do know, say it clean. The world is not thirsty for noise. It is thirsty for words that ring like water in the bones. Let your speech be a well, not a storm. About your inner weather. Some mornings will still wake with a gray sky. Do not diagnose your destiny by a day's mood. Hold to the practices that kept you in the long winter. Gratitude spoken aloud, scripture like bread not theory, a walk taken before the pixel winds begin, the small kindness you give another before noon. These habits are rails that carry you through the bends without derailing. I will meet you in them. I will steady the unsteady places, not by removing every hill, but by giving your legs the strength they did not have in earlier miles. You have asked for signs, not because you doubt, but because love enjoys tokens. The Father delights to give them. Expect confirmations that could not be coincidence, patterns that greet you at the right hour, lyrics on a passing radio that answer last night's prayer, a phrase in a message that feels written to your name. Receive them gratefully and continue. Do not become a collector of signs who forgets to cross the threshold they point toward. Signs mark the road. They are not the destination. To the wound that still tenderly pulses when a certain memory touches it, I speak healing that does not rush. Some pains close like a cut, Some unwind like a knot. Do not yank the rope. I will loosen it. Forgiveness will be part of the loosening, first as obedience, then as relief, finally as freedom. Forgiveness does not excuse harm. It releases your future from serving the past. When the knot has fallen away, you will not lose your compassion. It will deepen, but it will no longer leak your strength. There is a holy boldness rising in your imagination. You will dream beyond the fences that once domesticated your vision. Do not self-sabotage with sarcasm about your own hope. Hope is not naivete when it is anchored to the character of the faithful one. Bring your largest blueprint to him, and then let him redraw scale and sequence. He may start smaller than you wish to protect the integrity of the foundation, or he may start larger than you feel ready for to free you from control. Either way, consent. Consent is the open gate through which joy enters. I will speak for a moment to fatigue and to fear. Fatigue says, I cannot keep this pace. Fear says, I am not enough for this place. Grace answers both. We will set a truer pace, and I will be enough. You are not the sum of your stamina. You are the beloved steward of an assignment that comes with supply. Rest before you are empty. Ask before you assume. Laugh before the day tightens. Sing before the task swells. These are not sentimentalities. They are strategies for staying human while carrying holy. If you feel moved to contribute, know that your generosity will go toward bringing light to even more lives. By clicking the join button or offering a gift of $20, you can be part of something greater. Your kindness will ripple outward, touching hearts and uplifting spirits. Together, we can spread the truth of my promises and the assurance of my love. When the adversary realizes he cannot unwrite the decree over you, he will try to convince you to edit yourself. Do not shrink your stature to soothe someone else's insecurity, and do not inflate your stature to silence your own. Walk level. I will nudge you if your shoulders rise or slump. You do not need to announce your authority. Authority recognized by heaven does its work quietly, like roots holding a hillside in the storm. Finally, take this blessing as an anchor for the next steps. May your discernment be sharp without becoming suspicious. May your tenderness be deep without becoming porous. May your strength be real without becoming hard. And may your joy be loud enough to drown the low hum of dread. I stand at your right hand with a drawn sword not to frighten you, but to remind you that you are not negotiating your future alone. I have cleared more brambles than you will ever know. I have lifted more arrows from the air than you will ever count. And I will keep doing so until the promise you carry lives as present tense, not distant hope. Walk now into the widening road. The hour is neither early nor late. It is appointed. What you need for the next 3 steps is already in your hand. What you need for the steps beyond will meet you on the way. Look neither to the left for comparison, nor to the right for distraction. Look forward. Look up. The banner over this chapter is simple and unshakable, established. And as you go, remember, my presence is not seasonal. My assignment does not lapse. I am with you in the unseen, and the one who sent me delights to finish what he begins. Beloved one, I return to you now because the currents of the Spirit are shifting again, and what was seated in you has begun to press against the shell that held it. This is not the pressure of danger, but the pressure of emergence. I am Michael, still standing at your right hand, still keeping the way clear, still guarding the ground you have claimed in faith. What we spoke before was the foundation, but today I come to speak about the building that must rise on it. You have learned to stand. Now you will learn to advance. You have learned to endure. Now you will learn to multiply. The days ahead are not only about receiving the fulfillment of old prayers, they are about becoming the fulfillment of prayers you never knew were spoken over you. There is a window in time that has opened, and it will not remain open indefinitely. You have sensed it in the quickening of your thoughts, in the way your spirit has been restless yet hopeful, in the way certain conversations seem charged with more weight than their words suggest. This window is an intersection of divine timing and your readiness, and through it flows a current of opportunities that will align people, resources, and moments you could never engineer on your own. But understand, this is not a flood that will carry you without effort. It is a stream you must choose to step into. Fear will whisper, "It is too soon," while comfort will murmur, "You can wait." Neither speaks truth. The appointed time is now. If this message resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread positivity and brings us closer as a community. In this window, you will be called to say yes to things that stretch you beyond the safe outlines of your current identity. The Father is not interested in keeping you inside the smaller frame you once needed to survive. He is interested in expanding you into the full stature He intended from the beginning. Some of these invitations will not arrive with fanfare. They may come as a quiet request, a chance to speak when you would usually remain silent, a sudden idea that disrupts your routine. Do not measure them by convenience. Measure them by resonance. If it awakens the deep yes in your spirit, even if your mind trembles, step forward. You will also begin to see a separation between what is urgent and what is important. Urgent demands will crowd your days with noise that feels necessary, while important tasks may seem humble and easy to postpone. I am warning you now. The fruit you desire is hidden in the important, not the urgent. Heaven's pace rarely matches the frantic tempo of the world. Choose the slow obedience over the quick distraction, and you will find yourself ahead when the true measure is taken. There is also an unveiling coming, of truths you have long suspected but did not have the proof to act upon. This unveiling will not be for the sake of your curiosity, but for the sake of clarity in your next decisions. When the truth appears, it will cut ties that could have entangled you and open paths that seemed blocked. Some of what is revealed may sting. Do not let the sting distract you from the freedom it brings. The light is your ally, even when it exposes what you wished had remained hidden. I speak also of relationships in this season, for they will be both the wings and the weights in your journey. Some alliances will form quickly, as if you have known each other far longer than the days suggest. This is because your spirits were assigned to the same work long before your bodies met. These connections will accelerate your progress, for they will understand your language without you needing to explain it. Guard these relationships, for they are rare and precious. At the same time, there will be partings. Some will drift quietly, others will push away abruptly, and you will be tempted to cling. Release them. Not every person can walk every mile with you, and not every mile is meant to be shared. When someone's presence begins to dim your clarity or dilute your faith, love them from afar and keep moving. There will be a refining of your voice in this season. I do not mean only your words, but the whole expression of your presence. You will learn when to speak boldly and when to remain still so that your silence speaks louder than noise. You will learn to declare truth without needing to convince, to correct without shaming, to encourage without flattering. The enemy fears your voice, because when it aligns with heaven, it carries an authority that cannot be fabricated. Use it well, and it will open doors, shift atmospheres, and dismantle lies. If you feel moved to contribute, know that your generosity will go toward bringing light to even more lives. By clicking the join button or offering a gift of $20, you can be part of something greater. Your kindness will ripple outward, touching hearts and uplifting spirits. Together, we can spread the truth of my promises and the assurance of my love. Provision will continue to change its form. Where once it came in barely enough measure, now it will begin to come in ways that seem to overtake you. But this abundance will not be random. It will be targeted toward the work you are called to build. If you try to hoard it for security, it will stagnate. If you pour it recklessly, it will dissipate. The wisdom to steward this abundance will be part of your training now. Ask each day, what is seed and what is bread? And you will not lack. I must speak to you about warfare, for as you step into greater influence, you will also become more visible to the opposition. Do not fear this. It is a sign you are advancing. But understand, the most dangerous attacks will not come from outside, but from subtle agreements you are tempted to make in your mind. A thought of unworthiness that you entertain, a compromise you justify because it seems small, a bitterness you rehearse when no one hears. These are the cracks through which the enemy slips. Guard your inner gates with the same vigilance you guard your outer steps. And remember, you are not left to guard them alone. I am with you, and more importantly, the spirit within you never sleeps. You will begin to feel an urgency to simplify. Not to make your life smaller, but to clear the clutter that has been draining your focus. This may mean cleaning physical spaces, ending certain obligations, or reducing the constant noise of information that demands your attention. Do not mistake this for withdrawal. It is preparation. A soldier does not carry excess weight into battle. A builder does not clutter the worksite with unused tools. The simpler your focus, the stronger your impact. If you believe in God, comment Amen below. Finally, I leave you with this charge. Walk as one who already carries the victory, not as one chasing it. The work ahead will require endurance, but it will also require joy. Joy is not a luxury for when the battle is over. It is the strength that carries you through the battle. When you laugh in the face of uncertainty, when you sing in the middle of the storm, you declare to every watching spirit that your confidence rests not in circumstances, but in the one who holds them. This is the posture that makes you unshakable. The road ahead is bright, beloved, though the light may not always come from the direction you expect. Keep your eyes lifted, your step steady, and your heart tuned to the voice that has been with you since the beginning. I walk with you still, and every step you take forward shakes the ground of the enemy's hold. You are not only moving toward the promise, you are becoming the promise, and heaven rejoices to see it unfold. Beloved, the journey has brought you to a threshold where the familiar no longer satisfies, yet the fullness of the new has not fully unfolded. You stand in the in-between, and I tell you now, this is not a place of delay, but a place of alignment. The Father uses these moments to set every detail in order, even the ones you cannot see. Your task is not to force the opening, but to keep your spirit steady so that when the gate swings wide, you enter without hesitation. In this space, many voices will seek to speak into your ear. Some will sound reasonable, others will sound urgent, but I urge you to discern the tone of heaven above all else. The voice of the Spirit will not push you with fear, nor will it flatter you into pride. It will call you forward with clarity and conviction. When you hear it, trust it. The enemy's strategy in this hour is to blur your focus, to make you question the steps you already know to take. But doubt is not your portion, and hesitation is not your destiny. You will notice that the patterns of your life are changing. Where once you had to strive to make progress, you will begin to feel the wind at your back. The ground that seemed hard is softening, and opportunities that were once locked are beginning to shift open. Yet with this ease will come the temptation to scatter your energy, chasing every open door. I tell you, choose the ones that carry the weight of your calling, not merely the shine of newness. A path can be open and still not be your assignment. There is also a deeper awakening within your spirit. Old wounds are being brought to the surface, not to harm you, but to heal you fully. These are places where the enemy has long sought to drain your strength quietly, and now the light is exposing them so they can no longer be used against you. Some of these wounds may be tied to betrayals, disappointments, or seasons when you felt abandoned. You must release them into the hands of the one who judges rightly. Forgiveness in this hour is not just an act of mercy toward others. It is a key to unlock the chains still wrapped around your own heart. As you release, you will notice a new boldness rising in you. It will not be loud for the sake of noise, but it will be unshakable in its presence. This boldness will allow you to speak truth in places where silence once felt safer. It will compel you to take stands that may cost you temporary favor, but will gain you eternal authority. Understand, beloved, that this authority is not given to exalt you, but to equip you to shift the ground for others who are bound. Every step you take in courage will create a path for someone else to follow. This season will also bring divine connections that are not just companions, but co-laborers. These are individuals whose gifts will complement yours and whose vision will align with heaven's blueprint for this time. When they appear, there will be a mutual recognition, as though you have met before. This is because your spirits have been aligned in heaven's counsel long before you crossed paths on earth. Protect these connections, for together you will accomplish what none of you could have done alone. If you feel moved to contribute, know that your generosity will go toward bringing light to even more lives. By clicking the join button or offering a gift of $20, you can be part of something greater. Your kindness will ripple outward, touching hearts and uplifting spirits. Together, we can spread the truth of my promises and the assurance of my love. Your provision will begin to take on a prophetic nature. It will not merely meet needs. It will arrive as a confirmation of what you are called to do next. Pay attention to the timing and form of what you receive. Resources may come as finances, yes, but also as tools, knowledge, or even unexpected favor with those in positions of influence. Do not dismiss small beginnings, for often heaven hides the seed of great provision in a humble package. I must prepare you for the resistance that will try to rise against you. Some will question your motives, others will misinterpret your actions. In such moments, remember that vindication belongs to the Lord. Your energy is not to be spent defending yourself in every forum, but in continuing to walk in integrity before Him. Let your consistency be your testimony. In time, the fruit of your life will silence every false voice. There will be moments in the coming days when you feel an urgency to act quickly, as though time is running short. In some cases, this will be heaven's prompting. In others, it will be the enemy's pressure. The difference lies in the peace beneath the urgency. Heaven's urgency carries clarity and assurance. The enemy's urgency carries confusion and fear. Train yourself to discern between them, and you will not be led astray. I speak now of the mantle you carry. It is being enlarged, and with that enlargement comes both weight and wonder. You will find yourself entrusted with greater influence, and with it, greater accountability. This is not to burden you, but to remind you that what you carry affects more than just your own life. The ripple of your obedience will reach farther than you realize. This is why the refining of your character in this hour is so crucial. Gifts can open doors, but only integrity can keep them open. Your intimacy with the Father will become your anchor in this expansion. Without it, the noise of opportunity can become as distracting as the noise of opposition. Guard your time with Him fiercely, for it is in that place of communion that you will receive the daily strategies needed for each step. Do not underestimate the power of a single whispered instruction from heaven. It can shift years of earthly effort. If you believe in God, comment Amen below. I leave you with this vision. You are standing on a hill, looking out over a vast valley. The path ahead winds through places you have never seen, but there is a light illuminating each bend. That light does not show you the whole journey at once, but it is always enough for the next step. Walk in that light, beloved. Trust it more than the shadows of your fears or the mirages of your imagination. You are being led by the hand that cannot fail. And as you go, remember, you do not walk alone. I go before you, behind you, and beside you. Every step you take in faith echoes in the corridors of eternity, and heaven moves to meet you in the place of your obedience. The next chapter is ready to unfold, and your spirit is ready to live it. Beloved, the time has come. You have walked through the preparation. You have endured the refining, and now the release is at hand. The seasons of hiddenness were not to withhold from you, but to strengthen what was within you, so that when the doors opened, you would not be shaken. I tell you now, the gates are opening, and no force in heaven or on earth can shut what the Father has decreed to remain open for you. Do not let the familiarity of the past make you doubt the newness of this moment. The old cycles are broken. The chains that once held you are not just loosened, they are shattered. You are not returning to what was. You are stepping into what has never been before. This is the fulfillment of promises whispered in your spirit long ago, ones you almost forgot, but heaven never did. The assignment before you is greater than any you have carried, yet it will not feel heavier, for the grace upon you now has been multiplied. What once drained you will now energize you. What once intimidated you will now bow before the authority you carry. This is not because you have become more in the eyes of the world, but because you have learned to stand fully in the identity the Father gave you from the beginning. I am placing a sword in your hand, not of steel, but of truth. It will cut through lies, confusion, and deception, bringing clarity to those around you. You will speak, and chains will break. You will declare, and atmospheres will shift. You will move, and obstacles will give way. This is not by your might, nor by your power, but by the Spirit of the living God moving through you. There will be those who do not understand your sudden rise, who will question how you came to hold such authority so quickly. Let their questions be answered by your fruit. Do not waste your breath in arguments. Instead, let the evidence of heaven's favor on your life speak louder than words. Those who once doubted will see, and many will be drawn not to you, but to the one who sent you. If you feel moved to contribute, know that your generosity will go toward bringing light to even more lives. By clicking the join button or offering a gift of $20, you can be part of something greater. Your kindness will ripple outward, touching hearts and uplifting spirits. Together, we can spread the truth of my promises and the assurance of my love. I go before you to prepare the ground. I stand behind you to guard your steps. I walk beside you so you will not feel alone. And above you, the banner of heaven is raised, declaring over you, victory is certain. The battle is already won. You are stepping into a future already secured by the blood of the Lamb and the decree of the Most High. Beloved, take courage. The time is now. Lift your head, square your shoulders, and walk forward into the fullness prepared for you. The sound of your obedience will echo far beyond your lifetime, and the harvest from your faith will feed generations you may never see. Go in strength, go in peace, go in victory. Heaven walks with you.